Let me show you guys how I made my passion fruit lemonade. Here I'm peeling 4 lemons because I find that whenever making lemonade, using the whole lemon makes the lemonade taste more like lemonade than just juicing them. Just make sure that you remove most of the white part or your lemonade will be bitter. Always reserve some fruit for garnish. Then I put them into my blender with a little bit of water and then blend until smooth. With seeds and all, who cares? We're gonna strain this anyways. And I pour everything to my 3-quart pitcher with half a cup of sugar, mix everything together so the sugar dissolves. And I fill up my pitcher halfway with ice before adding water. So initially, this was supposed to be the strawberry lemonade from Chick-fil-A. So the lemonade was meant to be a little undersweetened because I was gonna finish sweeten it up with the strawberry syrup. But I got a phone call, forgot about the damn syrup, and when I looked, it was burnt. I had to think fast and I knew I had a passion fruit, so I was like, okay, lemonade passion fruit sounds amazing. That's what we're doing. So I put about a cup of passion fruit and a cup of sugar, a little bit of water, and then I just mixed like crazy. Dumped everything into the lemonade and then I mixed. Now this is the perfect time for you to check for sweetness. If it needs more sugar, add more sugar. If it's too sweet, just add more water. To garnish my cup, I dipped it in a little bit of rim dip, a little bit of tahini, and then I fill up my favorite cup with ice. Add a little bit of lemon slices and then pour yourself some delicious and refreshing passion fruit lemonade. I did add another slice of lemon to my rim because you already know garnish don't stop. And a matching straw. And there you have it, guys. Passion fruit lemonade. Hope you like this recipe. Bye! Let me show you guys how I made my bubblegum water. To your blender, you're going to add a can of evaporated milk and a can of sweetened condensed milk. And you will also need to add bubblegum. Lots of bubblegum. I will be adding this huge jar of bubblegum to my blender. Just kidding, guys. You don't really need a bubblegum. But you do need a bubblegum flavoring. You can get yours on Amazon or Smart & Final. I'm going to add about a cup of bubblegum flavoring into the milks and then blend everything together. Then I'm going to pour it in my 2-quart pitcher and fill up the rest with water. Mix everything together and check for sweetness, guys. Now just fill up your favorite cup with ice and enjoy yourself a cup of agua de chicle, also known as bubblegum water. Or you can also turn it into ice pops like the ones the Paletero man sells. Just pour the bubblegum water into your favorite ice pop molds and then stick them in the freezer. Mine are a little bit soft, but that don't matter because they're still delicious. And that's it, guys. You just made agua de chicle or bubblegum water. Hope you like this recipe. Bye! Let me show you guys how I made my agua fresca de chavacanos and cuties. First, I removed the pits from the apricots and I cut it up into pieces because my blender sucks. As for the cuties, I'm gonna wash them really good because I'm gonna blend them with the skins. Blending your cuties with the skin gives your agua fresca a little bit more of a citrusy flavor, but it does make it go bitter pretty fast, so you have to finish it within that day. I'll just add everything to your blender, add some water, your sweetener of choice, and blend. You can add sugar, honey, stevia, Splenda, whatever your little heart desires. I'm gonna use stevia because it was for my father-in-law. I strain everything into a 2-quart pitcher and fill up the rest with water. Just fill up your glass with ice and enjoy. Hope you like this recipe. Bye! Let me show you guys how I made my passion fruit guayaba atole. Now this is the time where I first discovered passion fruit, so I was obsessed with passion fruit and I was trying to turn everything into passion fruit. So I was like, okay, let's make an atole. So I'm gonna use half a cup of passion fruit, and since I couldn't find the pink guayaba anywhere, I had to get frozen kind. 10 out of 10, do not recommend. In my pan, I'm gonna add about 4 cups of water and then half of the piloncillo and a canela stick. Then I pour half of the packet of the guayaba and my passion fruit. Atole is basically like a hot version of an agua fresca, but thick. And you can turn anything into atole. All you gotta do is add masa or cornstarch. I prefer masa, so I'm gonna use half a cup of masa and then a quart of water. To give it just a little bit more sweetness, I'm gonna add half of a can of sweetened condensed milk and then I pour my masa slurry into my pot. Once it comes to a simmer, it's gonna thicken up. Now, if you don't like it as thick as I do, then just add more water. If you like it thicker, you can either put more masa or at this point just add cornstarch. And that's it, guys. This is how I made my atole. Hope you like this recipe. Bye! Let me show you guys how I made my cherry watermelon water. First, you gotta depit your cherries. I'm gonna use this handy dandy tool I got at either the yard sale, at an auction, or a thrift store. I'm not sure. Basically what it does, it just stabs the pit out the cherry and then the bottom compartment stays with the pits and your other tray stays with just the meat of your cherries and you can do whatever you want with them. Today, I'm going to make this water. I add all my cherries into my blender, including some watermelon and some sugar. The cherry skins are a little on the harder side, so you can always strain this water when you're done blending. But today I decided to keep the cherry skins. Just add some water and mix everything together. I was able to make a gallon of this agua fresca. You can rim your cup with some rim dip or just serve it with some ice and enjoy. Hope you like this recipe. Bye! Let me show you guys how I made my agua fresca de pepino con limon and chia. First, we're going to wash the cucumbers really good because we're going to use the skins. Cut your cucumbers so it can fit your blender. You're going to do the same thing to your lemons. You're going to wash them really good because we're going to use the skin also. I only had 1 lemon, so that's what I'm using, but 2 would have been perfect. I would have juiced one of them and then cut up the other one whole and throw it in the blender. Here's where you can add your sweetener. Remember, this water was for my father-in-law, so I'm using Splenda, but you can always use sugar. Add water to your blender and blend. Now I'm just going to strain everything into a 2-quart pitcher, but if you have a badass blender, you don't have to strain anything. Then I fill up the rest of the pitcher with water. Then I add 1 tablespoon of chia seeds and mix everything together. And this is the perfect chance for you to check for sweetness if it needs. Let me show you guys how I make my agua de mazapan. And yes, you heard correctly. You're going to need mazapanes, of course, and I'm going to unwrap 7 of them. You're also going to need evaporated milk and a can of sweetened condensed milk. I'm going to add everything into my blender, a teaspoon of vanilla and a small piece of cinnamon stick. I'm going to fill up the rest of the blender with water and blend. I'm going to add half of this mixture into a 2-quart pitcher, and I'm also going to strain it because you don't want pieces of cinnamon stick stuck to your teeth. And then fill up the rest of the pitcher with water. Now this is the perfect chance for you to taste for sweetness, and most likely you won't need any sugar. If you're trying to be extra, you don't have to do this, but I'm going to rim my cup with a little bit of sweetened condensed milk and some crumbled up mazapan. Fill up the cup with ice and then pour your water. I'm also going to add more little crumbs of mazapan on top because at this point I'm just doing the most. And that's it, guys. If you're Mexican, you know we turn everything into agua fresca. Hope you like this recipe. Bye! Let me show you guys how I make my tepache. Tepache is a very traditional Mexican drink made out of fermented pineapple rinds. I'm just going to cut up my pineapple and save all of my rinds, and I'm also going to use the cores of my pineapples. I put it in a big 3-quart pitcher, and to this I'm going to add 2 cinnamon sticks, a little bit of ginger, some cloves, and 2 cones of piloncillo, but I only had 1, so I'm going to use brown sugar. I'm going to fill it up with water and then cover it up with saran wrap so no flies or no gnats go in there. I put it on the corner of my counter and I don't disturb it for 3 days. After 3 days, I can finally mix everything together. This is what it looks like. All that foam is all that fermented goodness. I just give it a quick mix, remove the rinds, and I'm also going to strain it to catch those cloves. Now I'm just going to add some ice to my favorite cup and pour me a cup of tepache. And that's it, guys. This is how I make my tepache. Hope you like this recipe. Bye! Let me show you guys how I made my Salvadorian horchata. I came across this package at the grocery store which comes with everything that you need for your horchata salvadoreña. It's basically a bag with different types of seeds, including pumpkin, cacao, morro, sesame seeds, peanuts, and cinnamon. I'm only going to use half of the bag, so we're going to use equal parts rice and equal parts seeds. And I put it into my pan, give it a light little toast until I bring all the nuttiness from the seeds and the rice. Let it cool down, add some water, and then soak this for a couple of hours or overnight. I'm going to do overnight. So the next thing in the morning, I got up and then I blended everything. Make sure that you strain it. That way you can catch all of the rice granules and all of the stuff that's not supposed to be in there. I know you guys are going to tell me you should use the mesh. I don't have a mesh. The strainer is really good, so that's what I'm going to use. And I pour everything to my 3-quart pitcher, add a can of evaporated milk and a can of sweetened condensed milk, a couple splashes of Mexican vanilla. Then I add ice until my pitcher is halfway full, and then I fill up the rest with water. Whenever I'm making my agua frescas, I like to make them sweeter than what they should be, only because I feel like the ice dilutes it. I don't know if that's true. That's just my theory. Anyways, we're going to mix everything together, and this is the perfect time for you to check for sweetness. If it needs more sugar, add more sugar. If it's too sweet, just add more water. To garnish our cup, I'm just going to dip my rim into a little bit of chocolate syrup and then a little bit of shredded abuelita. Fill up my favorite cup with ice and then pour myself some delicious and refreshing, creamy Salvadorian horchata. Just to make sure that your teeth really fall off, I'm going to sprinkle a little bit more chocolate on top. And there you have it, guys. Hope you like this recipe. Bye!